How are you feeling about your buddy Blankinen now?
I feel fantastic, man. I completely shut myself up in the chat. I watched that whole third period. Still a bit of a snooze fest, but yeah, whatever. They won. I'm not going to take the energy out of the building. It was that last play freaked the GBDs out of me. So it's nice to see Garland just finish that and let me breathe.
How about KJ in the chat saying shutout way too early? What'd you think about that?
Yeah. Someone has to do it. If it wasn't going to be KJ, I think someone else would have said it. So it's paid off. So maybe from now on, he should start saying that more often.
So you remember Anchorman, or no, it wasn't Anchorman. It was Bruce Almighty. You remember Bruce Almighty, where the teleprompter guy, and it was Steve Carell's character, and no matter what they put on there, he would read it, right? Oh no, I'm mixing up two things. Oh my goodness.
I did watch that movie, but it's been so long that I
So it's like Anchorman, Will Ferrell, and they said no matter what you put in the teleprompter, Will Ferrell is gonna say the words, right? So at the very end, I'm gonna have to put something in the swear jar for this, but it says, "Go yourself, San Diego," right? So KJ in the chat, putting the word shutout in the chat, and I'm just reading along. I said shutout.
Yeah. Yeah, he tricked you. He baited you. Is what he did.
Baited me.
Yeah.
He did the old
he wanted to make you look bad.
Right?
I'm on to KJ.
Yeah.
I think he wants you off YouTube. Honestly, I'm just like I said, the chat's too nice lately. We got to stir it up a bit, right? Too good of a community.
So what does that mean for a Boston team? They just fired their coach. Are they looking at going for a third coach this season after not even able to win when the Canucks only get 14 shots?
They should fire the coach again right now.
Yeah,
that's what I think. Like, could you imagine? Just like, you know what? Just keep firing coaches until you get a win.
So hire Quenneville or something like that.
Yeah, honestly, now that you mention it, I wonder what Boston's gonna do now. Like, do they start thinking about a rebuild almost? I don't know. Yeah, I know it's early, but they're in a weird transition now because they're not. That was not a good looking game for both sides, honestly.
Can you guess who the 3 stars are? I'm gonna give you a chance.
Oh damn it! I was just on Sportsnet too.
No cheating.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, who were the 3 stars and in order?
Oh, Connor Garland. Oh wait, no. Sorry, Blankinen.
Yeah.
First star.
Yeah.
Connor Garland. Who else got a point? Who did something? Sherwood not. Oh, DeBrusk, obviously.
Okay, you got it right, except for Garland didn't get a star.
Oh, what?
In a 1-0 game, of course it's got to be both goalies. So Jeremy Swayman is the 3rd star of the game. Jake DeBrusk is the 2nd star of the game. So, but like, where do the Canucks go from here too? Because like they have now played a couple of really good defensive teams, like the Islanders caught them to really low shots. Now Boston's done the same thing. What do they need to do to actually get some shots on net?
I don't know, because like this is like a few times now, just these like, but you know what? At the same time, it's like, do we just ride this out and then the offense will just automatically come? Because at least they're playing good defense, right? Mm-hmm. Like that was a good rounded defensive win. I mean, yeah, I think they got to buy Lankinen dinner later because he made some great. That last save, Lindholm, man, oh my goodness! I was just like, please don't out of anyone. It's just like, let us have this one, Like
as Canucks fans, you always assume it would either be Lindholm or Zadorov who scores the goal against us, right?
Yeah, and I thought Zadorov scored there because my TV is really small in this trailer, and when he missed the net there, I thought that was it. I was like, oh, that went off the back bar and in. I couldn't even. I was just like, really?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it wasn't in. So,
I mean, I'm happy that we kind of reversed Vancouvered Boston, right? Because our former Boston Bruin was the one who scored the goal for us. Jake DeBrusk putting in the only goal that had a goalie in the net. How does that feel for Jake DeBrusk scoring and coming back for his first game in Boston?
Yeah, I think that's fantastic for him. And you could tell that he was feeling it too, because he was getting a couple other chances there. To be honest, at one point I was thinking like he looks like one of the only noticeable person on the ice for both teams. So I'm like, is Jake DeBrusk like the new Connor McDavid right now? Like, yeah, like I don't know. Honestly, it was really, he looked good. He looked really good. He looked hot. And I really like to see that from him because you could tell that goal probably fired him right up.
Toymaker in the chat saying, I'm not sure Demko will replace Lankin and he might take the ball and run with it. What do you think about that?
I kind of agree. I think. Well, when's their next game?
Tomorrow.
A couple days.
4:30.
Tomorrow. Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Who are they playing tomorrow?
Pittsburgh.
Okay. Oh no. Well, they're gonna put I mean, if Demko is like feeling good, they have to put him in for a back-to-back, right? If it was a in between game or they didn't play tomorrow, I would say obviously they probably roll with Lankinen just to kind of slowly get Demko in. I don't know what they're gonna do, but yeah, I don't. Lankinen just played a really long, hard game. You can't put him in again tomorrow, can you?
I think they'll I'm assuming it'll probably be Shelov's tomorrow. That would be my best guess.
Right.
If
That's
anything,
still an
maybe you
option,
see
right?
Demko on Friday for that nooner because they're playing at noon for some reason.
Sorry?
The Canucks play at noon on Friday.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I heard you saying that in the stream of Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday. So they're playing against their expansion cousins, the Bruins, the Buffalo Sabres on Friday at noon. They play Pittsburgh tomorrow at 4:30. So not as early of a start, but still quite more early than we're used to.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a weird time. That's right when work starts for me too. Unbelievable. I can't believe they would put the schedule out like that. I start at 12 every Friday.
Rome says, did DeBrusk have an angry Bruins fan yelling at him like Tavares did when the Islanders fans gave him the business? I didn't see any of that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think he's at the same stage as the Tavares, luckily for DeBrusk, but man, you know what? Now thinking of that, like, man, that must have been brutal for Tavares. That was awful. I've never seen a sports team just go at somebody so hard like that before. But that did not happen tonight.
Mike Torrance pointing out the Canucks are now 8-1 on the road.
Yeah, my goodness, they're playing just fine on the road. I don't know what's going on there. It's like the other day you asked me, it's like, you think this is a good thing they're going on the road? And I said, absolutely. Like, because eventually they have to start winning at home, right? They can't just keep losing at home. So might as well go get these wins away. At least I don't know, like they're a weird team. Just win at home. That's like why are you making us spend money and go watch the games and losing? But you know what, right now I'm happy they won the game, so I'm not gonna think too far ahead. But and then they surely they got to beat Pittsburgh, right?
Can you knock on some wood for a second, please? Just knock on wood.
Yeah, surely.
I'm gonna double knock on wood.
No way. Yeah.
So Lefty all around in chat is saying that was a great defensive game played by a whole team. Lots of block shots, was like having a second goalie out there. Yeah, lots of block shots tonight for the Canucks. They had 26 block shots.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was like, all around. It was a good defensive game. Like, if you don't get scored on in a game, you're obviously doing something right out there. So, it was good to see that. Like, just a midseason game, and you watch. There's some good character wins the Canucks have been doing this year. I've noticed where it's like, you look at a win like that and you're like, yeah, that's something that can happen in the playoffs. You know, you're trying to hold on to a 1-0 lead. They didn't do anything ridiculously stupid to try and blow it. The penalties, this is what I've been impressed with the Canucks is they keep getting these penalties, and I saw it in a previous game, and it just kills their momentum, but they just end up being okay. And they killed off the first penalty. Boston still has all the momentum. Then they get another penalty. Boston has momentum, but the Canucks just kind of were chill. They were just fine. It looked like, they weren't panicking. They weren't doing anything they're not supposed to do. They just stuck to the script.
Yeah, Jay wanted to also point out that on December 1st, they play at 9:30 a.m. Pacific against Detroit, which I believe is a Sunday or something like that.
Why? Why is that a thing?
It's probably a Black Friday thing still.
Right. Oh, man.
So I'm doing some quick math here. If you take, so Boston had 11 block shots. The Canucks had 15 shots that actually hit the net. So in total, the Canucks had 26 shots, if you don't count like shots that went wide. Boston had 32 shots on goal, and the Canucks blocked 26. So if you don't even include any of the shots that went wide, you're looking at 58 shots for Boston, and you're looking at 26 shots for Vancouver, which is absolutely insane if you ask me.
When you break it down that way, that kind of shows you where the ice was tilting tonight, because clearly Boston they didn't look awful, honestly. Now that you mention it, like they just didn't score, and you have to score to win a hockey game, folks. Like that's kind of how it goes. But no, like it wasn't. There was lots of blocks. Lankinen made some saves that he probably shouldn't have saved again, and that's the difference between having a goalie like that. That's a goalie right there stealing a win, and even that's a goalie stealing a point too. Like that could have gone to overtime. The Canucks had no business winning that game, to be honest. Like really, you think about it. Yeah, they played great defensively and they made it work, and that just happened. But Lankinen stole on that win for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is, Taka was telling the team, like, hey, we're going in. These guys just changed their coach. They're going to be flying out there. Like, Boston had something more to prove than Vancouver did tonight, because now they got the new guy in. They're trying to play well for him, and they clearly had more energy. But even in 3 power plays, Boston didn't score a goal. They were 0 for 3 on the power play. The Canucks took advantage. They were 1 for 2 on the power play. And then defensive structure got changed up too, because we had Myers and Brandstrom playing together. Soucy and Juleson. Did you feel a little more comfortable with Soucy and Myers being broken up?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't have anything against those two. I actually kind of like those two, but I don't think they work well together. And it's funny. I showed you in the stream there. It's just like, oh God, both of them are out there together. And it's just like everyone get into panic mode. and the Bruins are firing shots and it's all chaotic. And it's like, okay, those two cannot be together. But they're great if they're in their right role, I guess you could say. I did feel more comfortable. You're right, and I do like seeing Juleson out there. I've always had a soft spot for him. I think he's somewhat underrated on the Canucks. I think he's solid. He comes in and just does his job.
He might be another one of those players that ends up being a steal, because he was a guy who went high in the draft. I believe he was like a top 10 pick in the draft by Montreal. Ends up getting injured, which really messed up his ability to become a better player. And now you never know, right? He's a big physical guy. He's not scared to throw some hits. And now that he's been playing on a more regular basis, I think you've been seeing him playing a lot better. So hopefully that can continue. But I think going back to the Myers and Soucy pair, I think what's happened is Soucy can be such a sporadic player. And I think Tyler Myers is worse when he's trying to do too much. And I think he was trying to do more to cover up the craziness that was Soucy's game, because Soucy is a very streaky guy. And so I think Soucy playing not well not only made Tyler Myers play not well, but even worse than he was, because he was trying so hard to do more than he needed to.
Right.
Kind of seeing the same thing out there.
I totally hear you on that, because Myers used to be a similar player like that, and that's where all the Canucks fans have actually kind of enjoyed watching him now. And now that he's on the lower pay and all that, and he came back, because with the new coaching staff, he came in and he learned his role. And I guess maybe that's where Soucy's not at yet.
Yeah.
And I totally see that. I totally agree with you on that.
Mike Torrance in the chat saying easy game tomorrow. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Easy. Come on, guys. Let's all hype it up. Everyone, easy. Easy's in the chat, please. Let's just curse this next game.
Yeah, speaking of jinxing things.
Yeah.
Big Hog saying my best friend is a Pens fan, so you want to see him lose, right?
Yeah, I do feel a little bit bad for Crosby out there.
Yeah,
it's yeah. Come on, bring him over to Vancouver. Could you imagine? Come on, can we just get Crosby in Vancouver?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Is that too much to ask for?
It is. I think so.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Well, because right. I don't know if you saw it the other day. Bieksa was quoted as saying he never wanted to leave Vancouver. He wanted to go. Mm-hmm. He said, I wanted to go down with the ship. Right. And I think that one of those things with Sidney Crosby specifically, he came into the league at the same time as Mario Lemieux was finished things up. Mario Lemieux, despite the fact if he wasn't the owner of the Pittsburgh, he could have gone and won some more cups somewhere else, but he didn't. He stuck around. Mm-hmm. And Crosby, I think, is doing the same thing that Lemieux did with the Penguins, where even though they were a complete terrible team, he's going to stick around and try and at least help for the next couple of years to show the next generation what it takes to win in the league. So I don't see Sidney Crosby going anywhere.
I don't either. And, you make a good point. Like he was mentored by these people that stuck there too. And they're legends in the game. Why would he break away from what he's been taught? Basically, and Sidney Crosby, he's just that kind of guy. He's going to stick around for sure. But, it'd be fun. You know, I know everyone forgive him. Pittsburgh fans would forgive him if he left, but he's not gonna do that.
Well, the other side of the coin, and I think I talked about this earlier in the year, was a guy like Kiprasov, who essentially refused to be traded out of Calgary. But what would have happened is if he would have just said, okay, yeah, trade me somewhere, then Calgary brings assets in. So there's something to be said for that too, where you can help your team by helping them get more draft picks and some prospects and that kind of thing. So, but I still don't think that Crosby's going anywhere.
No, you make a very good point there, though, because really, you're helping your team. If Sidney Crosby leaves right now, do you know how beneficial that'd be for Pittsburgh? Actually, now that you mention it,
I mean, even with him on the team, they might finish last place, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then I saw one comment here. Where is it? It was about the refs. So that's one thing I was going to ask you, because the refs seem to be. Here it is. Toymaker thought the refs were trying to hand the Bruins the game a few times. Great win, though. Did you feel like the refereeing was a little bit lopsided tonight?
You know what? It's hard right after the game because the emotions are high, and I'm speaking right now. Honestly, probably not. It's obviously it wasn't good officiating, but I do believe. I do think they actually do try out there, but there was obviously some bad calls, and they're going to make bad calls. But right now, I'm going to say I don't think they were trying to help Boston out. I think that's just the nature of the game. They just made a couple bad calls, but yeah, you could look at it at any angle you want.
So maybe not. I would say maybe they weren't trying to hand them the game, but maybe they were just kind of like, crap the bed.
Yeah. Make it a little, make it a little more interesting.
There's a couple of interesting ones. Like Susie gets essentially cross-checked into the net, or the other play was Bluger penalty killing, and his stick just gets slashed right out of his hands. Right, like that should be pretty much an automatic call, in my opinion.
No, they're definitely awful calls. Even like the Brock Besser one just kind of took me away. And same as Joshua. With the helmet knocked off, like after the play, it's like, what? Like, when does that ever get called after the whistle? Like, it's a regular normal scrum, and that's just where you pull them away, and it's like, whatever, move on. But it's just like, no, I'm picking you, and you're going to the box. Yeah, that does tick me off. Like, that's just like, what was that about? Like, I don't know. It's, Joshua's obviously not happy with that, but. It was that one was the more notable one that I thought was like, hey, that's not cool.
Well, even like you said, the Besser one, like they called him for slashing, right? And it's like he touched a guy with his stick.
Yeah.
It's like
it's getting a little soft out there. Yeah, just gave him a little push and he flopped like a fish, eh? So it's
So Lefty all around in the chat is saying I can read Tocchet's mind and Branstrom might sit out next game.
Yeah, I don't think so. Sorry. I think he played all right. I don't know. I like Branstrom. So
yeah, I don't think so either. I think they probably just stick with the same line that they ran with tonight.
Yeah.
Jake, thank you so much for stopping by after the game for the post-game show. I hope you had fun tonight.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was great. Thanks for having me.
Make sure you guys, everyone who's still here watching, go and check out Jake's Takes Hockey. He's had a bunch of videos out in the last couple of days. Like he said, he had one about Sherwood came out yesterday, which I enjoyed a lot. So make sure you go on over to his YouTube channel, check him out, and make sure you like and subscribe every time you're over there as well.
Right.
And got any last words for chat before you peace out for the night?
No, just go Canucks glow or coconuts glow. That's all I gotta say. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be in chat. I got nothing else to do, so
cool. Awesome. Cool, brother. So if you do want, you're more than welcome to come on for the first intermission. If you're interested, we'll definitely have you on again for the first intermission tomorrow.
What time's the game again tomorrow, sir?
4:30.
4:30. Yeah, I should be around.
Cool. Sounds good, brother.
Cool.
We'll talk to you tomorrow then.
Awesome. Take care.
Nothing is perfect.